Hey everybody, Austin here again with a Let's Play video. Today we'll be playing through the Sega Genesis and Megadrive version of Batman Returns, based on the Tim Burton movie from, was it 91? 92? I don't remember. The game came out in 92, so the movie was probably somewhere around there. But this is kind of fitting. I wasn't planning on doing a Let's Play of this version of the game, because I've got full playthroughs of the Sega CD version on my channel. However, I just did, recently, over the last week or two, Batman the video game for the Sega Genesis and Mega Drive as well. I had never actually finished that game until just recently, and I wanted to show that off and do a walkthrough of it. The other night, though, on my own, I decided to play through Batman Returns right after, just because I was like, let's just kind of see how they compare. And I'm actually very familiar with this game, because I owned the Sega CD version for a very long time, and again, I've got full playthroughs of that here. I didn't realize, though, until recently, after playing the original Batman, how similar the core gameplay is between the two games. And it's really interesting because Batman Returns is done by a totally different studio. I think it was a Western developer, and it doesn't really, in a lot of cases, it doesn't look as good as the first game, and it also definitely does not sound as good as the first game. But there are a lot of gameplay enhancements as well, some improvements, I would say. But the core gameplay is Batman can still use a hookshot up. He can fling himself upwards. He still punches straight in front of him. He still does a ducking kick. He still shoots a boomerang across the screen, just like the Sunsoft game. And I was thinking to myself recently, like, was that intentional by these Western developers that made Batman Returns? Both games are based on Tim Burton creations, and I don't know. It's just kind of interesting to think about. It's just something I never noticed because I had never played the first Batman on Genesis back in the day. It wasn't until my YouTube recording and streaming days over the last decade that I finally played it. And playing that, doing a Let's Play, and then playing this game back to back, it just clicked. I was like, oh, that's really interesting. So I wonder if some of the core gameplay in this, the core gameplay similarities to the Sunsoft Batman is intentional, or was intentional. Anyway, I digress. So what this is going to be, guys, is we're going to go ahead and play through this game. Unlike the first Batman, this is going to be a really rusty playthrough. I did not practice this. I played it once last night and just miraculously managed to beat the game after not beating this game for many, many years. It gets insanely difficult towards the end. Like, Euro and Western developer crazy difficulty, like very cheap shots. It's just memorize or die. It's so difficult, but we're going to go ahead and try to go through it anyway, and I'm just going to sort of talk my way through it, because I do still have a lot of experience with this game. Unlike a lot of my Let's Plays, I didn't practice this one. So, playing it once on my own is not practicing to me. A lot of times with these Let's Play videos, I'll beat a game like 7 or 8 times, maybe 9 times or more, to be really, really comfortable with it when I'm sitting down to record. And that's exactly what I did with Batman, the video game, for Genesis. But this is not that. So we're probably going to end up dying a bunch. We're going to probably run into a lot of issues, especially towards the end, because I do not have the last couple levels fully memorized anymore. You really have to have them memorized, otherwise you just get wrecked, and I am probably going to get wrecked at those levels. So, but I thought it would be fun to do this one right after Batman the video game, because for one, the core gameplay similarities, but also it's wintertime here as I'm doing it. We've got all this snow on the ground, and it's like, this game just feels like a natural pick for how the weather is outside right now, for me personally. And I know a lot of the East Coast in the United States in particular is feeling this. So Batman Returns is dark, it's snowy, and it's kind of fitting right now. So let's go ahead and jump into the options menu first, just to see what's there. It looks like we can bump our lives up. I'm not going to do that. And it tells us our controls, and we have a sound test, and that is about it. Not a whole lot there. Another reason I wanted to show this off is that, again, I have done the Sega CD version quite a lot on this channel, and there is a night and day difference to a lot of parts of this game. From sound effects to like the title screen to the music to, the Sega CD one has new driving segments that aren't in this one, to yeah, it's just interesting. I also think the Sega CD one's a little more responsive. I find a lot of times in this game, I'll try to do some attacks and they just won't come out. So, but yeah. So, yeah, it's Batman Returns on Sega Genesis. It is a little bit like the first game in that it is a side-scrolling action game. However, there's a lot more verticality in this game. A lot of the levels are much larger. They are they're a little more exploratory, which was kind of like the direction a lot of these Western-developed action games in particular were going towards. Lots of more exploratory level design in these side-scrolling action games from this time period. In particular on the Sega Genesis and Megadrive. Not quite as much on the Super Nintendo, but on Genesis there was so many of these types of games where you don't just go left and right, but you go up and down as well, and there's just lots of places to explore, lots of power-ups you can get that can help you get through the levels easier. For instance, right up here, there's some power-ups I'd like to pick up before I move forward. Now, you can basically just sit and punch, kind of like in Batman the video game by Sunsoft. You can also press down and kick to do a ducking kick, like I mentioned. By default, A is your batarang. You can just throw it across the screen. What's also cool about this one is you can hold up and fling it up. And if you hit start, you can bring up a belt. And now, so the batarang is not your only special attack. You've got this smoke bomb. You've got this set of bats you throw out, which is the most powerful. You've got this, it's kind of like your hook shot, but it goes forward. And then you've got a homing batarang that's a lot more powerful. So what I'd like to do is save these for specific sections and just stick with my basic batarang. The basic batarang, we get replenishment on that ammunition a lot throughout the playthrough, especially if I try to conserve my ammo. Now, as far as attacks, you also have a forward kick, and we also have a heart up there, which is a health refill. And those actually give you quite a lot of hit points back. So if you look on your heads-up display in the bottom, the white bar on the left, going horizontally, that's your health bar. There's another bar below it that will turn red. It will light red, and that's the boss health bar. So once we get to our boss, that will light red, and as we attack the boss, that bar will go down. That's actually another similarity to the Sunsoft Batman. You see health bars for both Batman and the boss, except they're in reverse positions in this one. So here's our first boss. It's Catwoman. You basically just attack her, go to another level, rinse and repeat. Now, enemies do have iframes, or at least the bosses do. So, like, I can't go up and hit Catwoman multiple times, so I really just have to, you know, play it so slow and steady here. Just like this, and it's not worth using any special attacks on here because the boss fight is so easy. Just like that. So I do find the Sega CD version to be, like, your attacks tend to be a little more accurate. Like in this one, when I drop down and I'm at an angle, and I'm trying to throw my batarangs upwards, they tend to get stuck on things and not actually hit the clouds. That doesn't happen in the Sega CD version. So, in terms of gameplay, both this and the Sega CD versions are nearly identical. But there are definitely some collision issues in the Genesis version. The Sega CD version seems like it was polished up a little bit, so if you're gonna play through Batman Returns, I definitely recommend the Sega CD version. Like, through and through. We're gonna wait and just wait for those things to stop. I've taken a lot of hits already, but there should be some health refills here. And yep, there we go, right there. And then when you transition to, you know, when you do like a hard screen transition, you do get your health back, thankfully. And I just got an extra life right there. We're gonna fly down here, just like that. Ugh, This is so frustrating. This is one of those games that I find not a lot of people really enjoy. Now, it's one of those that, you know, I've been warmed up to for a long time because I owned the Sega CD version only a couple of years after it first came out. But again, it feels like they polished up the Sega CD version a little bit, and it is thus a little more enjoyable for me. I can just sit over here and use my boomerangs, just like this. And there we go. Now, if we fly over here, extra life, and then if we jump up here, we get some more power-ups. So there we go. Alright, into our cathedral. This will lead us into our first boss fight with the Penguin. The Penguin is the main boss in the whole game. You fight other bosses, but the levels always end with a Penguin fight. The first level can be kind of irritating because you've got these jumping jesters, and they are super common on this first level. But you kind of want to just stay away from them, let them jump over you, hit them once, and then just wait. Now, good old typical kind of Western developer visual style here. You notice that there are foreground elements that kind of block your view of the ground. So like right here, that's actually a gap. If I fall into that, I go down to the level below. So you really got to keep an eye on these foreground elements if you want to have an easier time getting through this game. Also, there are sometimes power-ups hidden behind, you know, the columns. You got to keep an eye out, otherwise you'll miss them and not get them. You definitely want as many special items as possible when you're playing through this game, and you don't want to waste them on early levels because your non-Batarang special weapons are very, very powerful. They're almost overpowered. And the game gets so hard towards the end, you really want to have as many of those as possible to make the later parts much, much easier, much more doable, I should say. You also want to try to play very carefully, because you don't want to lose a lot of lives. You want to save those lives for the end. So I'm going to come up here towards the left. There's going to be a power-up on the left, just like that. So if you press A in the air, you can bring out your wings and then kind of hover down. You'll notice that there's a little bat symbol in the middle, and there's a power bar to the right of it going vertically. And that is your floating or your hovering mechanic, or your wings mechanic, I should say. You're not really hovering, but you are floating down. And there's a lot of cheap shots in this game. Like with these guys, they just land right on top of you. And as far as I'm aware, there's nothing you can do about that. Very frustrating. Very frustrating game design that was also very typical from Western developers of this time period. So it gives some of these Genesis and Megadrive platformers developed in the West have a very distinct feel to them that I can understand a lot of people won't really enjoy, at least in this day and age. You know, back when this was new, it was just different. You know, I could see how they were trying to evolve the video game medium, evolve action games and platformers. But these days, I can totally see why it's probably hard for a lot of people to get into these types of platformers. The cheap shots alone is just a huge hurdle to get over, but it just, you know, if you're trying to beat this game, it just comes with the territory. You just gotta accept that there's gonna be a lot of unavoidable damage in this game. But to be fair, your health bar is fairly large, and it is actually fairly generous with health pickups, which is nice. So you can see that we're almost at 99 Batarangs. We've got 90 right now. So it's okay for me to use them. It's totally okay. I'm killing these guys in one hit with them. Now I like to use my forward kick as well, because I can actually punch their bullets. Or, not punch, I can kick their bullets. I'm so dyslexic right now. It's what I get for doing 2 Let's Plays back to back when I haven't done a Let's Play in like 6 months. Or at least it feels like 6 months. See, it's like, yeah, I just took a bunch of hits there. It was probably possible for me to do that without taking damage, but it's very rare. But hey, health pickup right here. And we've got ourselves a boss fight. So what I'm going to do is save that health. I'm going to hook shot up here and then just kind of try to shoot this guy from a distance. Knock some health off of him. And then what I can do is switch over to my homing batarang and just use that down here. Just like that. Switch back to my regular batarang. Now we're inside the mall. Now I've got so many boomerangs here as well, I can just use them. It's like, why not? But if you're trying to attack these enemies without actually using specials, you just need to time your kicks just right. So there's 1, there's 2, and there's 3. Now, since I'm so conditioned to the Sega CD version of this game, and its awesome, eerie, moody soundtrack, hearing this music in the Genesis version is just kind of weird. It is very weird. It's another reason why I kind of wanted to do this Let's Play, is because it is very different. And I know a lot of you guys that have followed me for a while know I'm very familiar with the Sega CD one. And I'm sure a lot of you guys have actually seen me play that one as well. Alright, hopefully I don't die here. There is a health refill up here somewhere. There we go. That's not a health refill, but... Alright. We're gonna hook onto this. Kick her in the face. Hook, just like that. And there's health up there. Another gun guy right here. Got it. I thought I could duck that, but apparently not. I guess sitting on that grating, it put me up just a tiny bit higher than I thought I was going to be. And these platforms below me, they look like Lego blocks. They've always looked that way to me. Alright, just gonna use our boomerangs here. We still have 60-something, so just play it safe. Now, unfortunately, we're probably going to end up dying unless they give me some more health, but I don't think they are. So what I do for this one, we're back to Catwoman, except now we're on even footing. And I will use these on Catwoman here. Very powerful. Okay, got her. I'm going to switch back, because I don't want to use it by accident. I want to save them for later parts of the game. Now we have to just kind of race down to the bottom. If we touch this thing, we die instantly. Just like that. We got ourselves an extra life, so it's okay. There's a couple of one-up opportunities here. Oh, just one extra life opportunity, I guess. But alright, second penguin fight's very much like the first one. What you do is when you punch him in the air, he'll just kind of come down vertically, and then you can just smack him on the way down. Just like that. You're also noticing that I'm just jumping a lot, and the reason for that is your movement is faster when you're jumping than it is when you're just walking. So you'll see me like doing like lots of little baby hops just to get across the screen or position myself faster than I would if I was just walking left or right. Another level where I'm going to be using a lot of boomerangs. I'm up to 73, so totally fine. Duck, use a boomerang, just like, oh. God, these jumping guys are so annoying. Alright, what I'm gonna do is hook up and then go to the right. So much damage that is insanely difficult to avoid on this game. It's probably like the biggest problem with this game, in my opinion. But again, you know, to be fair, there are lots of health refills and pickups and stuff like that. You get a lot of extra lives, but it's frustrating. I like going through my games and taking as little damage as possible. But on this game, it is very difficult to do that without wasting like really valuable special weapons. And if you've never seen this game before, and wait till we get to the last level, you'll be like, oh, that's why he's saving all of his weapons. Yep, there we go. Got some health right there. Sometimes you can jump up and just punch these enemies. Extra life, so we're up to 7 lives again. Alright, we're down to 42 boomerangs. Just fall down, just like that. I am kind of rushing through, which is really a bad idea on this level. Like those guys in the caged area, it is possible to destroy them without taking any hits. They throw 2 fireballs, one goes over you, and as long as you're close to them and you duck, you won't take any damage. And then the second one goes closer to the ground, which means you can jump over it. So as long as you're playing relatively safe, you can get past those guys without taking any damage. But then you've got these dumb jumping guys. Alright, I'm going to try to come in like that. Let's see. Hey, no damage. Nice. Alright, I'm going to hook and then punch. Alright, so we have a couple of power-ups down here. Unlike the first Batman, we can actually scroll the screen down, which is nice. And we hook like that, and that's very risky, because if I mess that up, I lose a life. And losing a life is not worth any kind of power-up in this game. It is just not worth it at all. You want every life you can get. I'm going to play it pretty safe on this one. You've got more gunners up top, so I want to kind of stay a little bit low. And there we go. Into the circus. I'm going to just duck and kick. Alright, so these guys have these little things that kind of punch out at you. You can just punch the face, and when the face breaks, it will no longer punch at you. Oops, I did not want to select that. How did I select that? I did not mean to select that. If you jump up and go past those light bulbs, they actually explode, which is why I'm staying on the ground right now. Alright, I want to grab that health. So many of these enemies will just start attacking before, like, you even scroll them on screen. And it's another one of those things you just have to kind of get used to in this game. I'm not saying it's a good thing. It's definitely not a good thing. Now, there's a net down below. You can walk on the net. But these fire enemies, they'll actually shoot into the net and cause holes to appear. And if you fall down into the hole, you will die, because it's an endless pit. I think there's some health down here. I really want that. I don't... Okay, I can't actually drop down. I have to have them create a hole for me. Let's see. No, I definitely would have died if I had grabbed that. Alright, so for this part, I'm going to go ahead and use my homing batarangs again to kill these guys. I don't want to lose too much health. I don't want to lose any lives, because I need all my lives for the final level. Final levels, I should say. But this is another main boss level. Penguin boss. But like, I'm playing really sloppy, but hey, here's some health. Alright, these things will spring at me. Man, it's really hard to avoid a lot of this stuff. And, you know, I've avoided a lot of it before in the past, especially via the Sega CD one, but man, it requires a lot of precision. But also you'll find that the hitboxes are kind of weird too. Sometimes the hitboxes, like, that doesn't even register in the back half, but in the front half, where it hits you is just weird. It's odd. Alright, close to the boss fight. So the gimmick with the boss fight is there's this guy with a shovel on top of the train. He comes flying at you. Man, I am just not paying attention to these guys. He comes flying at you on the top, but the penguins down below also making fire appear like that. I went ahead and used some specials, but I'm like, you know what? Whatever. Lives are what's important right here. So we've got 7 lives going into our final level, which is Act 4. I believe it starts off with the sewer level. Yep, into the sewers. And this is where the game just starts to get really irritating. So what I'm going to do here is try to take the bottom route. I'm just going to stick to the bottom. Now he shoots 4 shots and then he waits, and that's your ideal time to strike. Again, fall down here. Stay on the bottom. 2, 3, 4. Jump up, attack. That's 4. Got him. Alright, boss time. So this guy basically makes fire go across the screen. Oops. Oh, that is very frustrating. Yeah, when he comes up and, like, his fire's right on top of you, like, the stick is right on top of you, it's just aggravating. I wish he'd come over to the right-hand side because I want to grab that health. I'll just do it that way. Alright, gonna end up using some specials. Normally I would get in front of his face and just like kick him. Kind of like that. But that's pretty dangerous. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. He's gonna make me do it all over again. No, I think it actually pushed me forward. Okay. Whew. Slightly frustrating. See, this is what I was talking about saving your items for the later parts of the game. Let's go ahead and use... Oh, no, got some of those again. Alright, so this part is, it's a little weird. I want to come up here, so you can't actually jump up here. Also, there's green slime that hurts you. So now you have to actually learn how to hang yourself up. It's like the only part in the game that requires you to do this. Where you actually have to hook and then hang. And then you can also swing back and forth, but it doesn't really work all that well here. So what you want to do is kind of hook onto that part up there. It's a very weird part. It's a very weird level design. There we go. Just taking our time. Ooh, that was a good hook. Actually, wasn't meaning to do that, but I did it. Alright, another one of these. Punch him, and then boss fight. Alright, so we have to destroy Penguin's gun here. And one way of doing that is with the homing shot. Okay, come on, thing. Alright, well this is bad. We're gonna end up having to redo this. Ugh, it's terrible. There we go. Like I said, very rusty. This is kind of pathetic. No health refills, go figure, right? Oh, I thought I could duck that. Ah, it's so mean. There we go. Yeah, definitely one of the harder fights, but if you have a lot of your homing projectiles, it's not too bad. I forgot that I'm supposed to jump behind the gun and just shoot that first. I thought I could just use my homing projectiles on it, but on my first attempt, the homing projectiles kept going towards Penguin instead of the gun. I was like, oh, jeez. Alright, so lots of instant death scenarios here. That blue is water. We're gonna duck, use our boomerangs, jump, and then try to take this nice and safe. There's a bazooka guy up there, so I basically want to just wait for him to shoot. Alright, we're gonna go this way. We can bust open these walls, the ones with cracks in them. How am I supposed to do that? I don't remember how I would normally do that. Let's go this way. So for this part, I know I can hook onto this one. There we go. If I come to the left, I could try to hurt these guys. And the reason I want to come over here is that there is another breakable wall. Just like that. And it keeps auto-selecting weapons for me, which is weird. Alright, let's just fall down here. Hope for the best. That's not the best. That is pretty bad, actually. This is why I need as many lives as possible, because this level design is so stupid. It is unbelievably dumb. Oh, okay. There we go. Alright. This is the last stretch for this level, or this part of this level. Oh my god, are you serious? Enemies shooting me from off-screen. Like, really, dude? Ugh. And you've got ice physics as well. So, again, I mentioned it already, is 100% memorize or die. But thankfully, this is our last stretch. Not thankfully, I only have one life left, so this isn't looking very good, guys. I wonder if I can actually destroy their bazooka shots. Like, just kick them down. Ugh. It does seem like you slide less if you duck. Alright, I shot his shot down. Okay. You know, the first half of this round really wasn't that bad. Second half, though, man, it's been pretty terrible. So, what I'm going to do is I have to come over here to trigger the boss fight. And Penguin basically just throws other penguins at me. And so one strategy is to get pretty close. I found out that you can just kind of sit here and just use your projectiles, just take it nice and slow. And your shots actually go through his penguins too. They're not blocking your shot. So why not just play it safe here? And I have a little gimmick or exploit for the final boss. This is technically the final boss, but this is the first half of it. First phase, if you will. And I'm just saving that heart in case I take a hit. But I'm not going to, so I'm just going to completely avoid the heart. And now we have to come up this way. In the process, I'm also going to switch to better weapons. All right. Penguin's gonna jump up. He shoots a blue projectile, which freezes you. So you want to jump over it. Then he shoots a red projectile. But we basically have to come over here and destroy his little machine. Ah, come on. Oh my god, this is going so bad. Oh my god. I completely whiffed it. Completely whiffed it. Alright, jump. Jump. Alright, get over. He's gonna hit me. There we go. Alright, jump. Jump. So what I'm gonna do is use this bat move right here, and then just kind of jump up here. And just wait for him to do it again and again. Got him. And that's it. So now, interestingly, what this does is it actually throws you back into another boss fight against Catwoman. But you've technically beaten the game already. And it does a credits roll on top of it. It's kind of neat. This was something else that Western developers in this platform we're trying to do more often. Kind of like little weird gimmicks like this. It's like her backflip still hits me. There we go. And that's it. Oh, jeez, I can't believe I did that. Play through this game right after playing the first Batman by Sunsoft. Yeah, this Batman is, it's interesting. I don't know if I really recommend it in this day and age. I think I recommend the Sega CD version, because it sounds infinitely better, and I feel like the platforming sections on it are more responsive, but you still have to contend with the same kind of BS level design on that one, but its soundtrack and its like scaling and its driving sections elevated, I think, to another level. But this one is, I can kind of understand why it's hard for some people to go back and like really appreciate it these days. But I still thought it would be fun to show it off, and yeah, you know, back to back with the Genesis Batman the video game by Sunsoft. So. But yeah, that was Batman Returns, guys. Hopefully you at least enjoyed the playthrough. If you've played this before, you should let me know your thoughts on it. If you haven't, and you've never seen it before, also let me know your thoughts on it. If you have any other strategies or anything, or know of any like special secrets, you know, that might help people trying to actually learn this game, you know, feel free to chime in with that as well. Also, in the description box, I'll try to link to my Sega CD playthroughs. I think I have a live stream archive from back in the day where I do like all the endings on it. And I might even play the Genesis version live on the spot in that same stream. So I'll have stuff like that linked in the description box if I remember to. But yeah, Batman Returns. I will be back with some other playthroughs sometime soon, if I can talk correctly. Yeah, I have a bunch of other playthroughs kind of like lined up, and it was nice to get these two knocked out, you know, so quickly back to back after a year of not a lot of dedicated Let's Plays like these. So hopefully we can keep the momentum going and get more playthroughs out there for you guys, because I know a lot of you guys like to just kind of sit back, relax, chill, and enjoy watching these. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed watching this one. If anyone not subscribed to my channel, consider doing so. If you like this sort of content, I've got probably over 1,000 videos like these on my channel, so you can, you know, hit the old backlog if you want to catch up and you know, check out more videos like these. For everyone already subbed, thanks for your continued support. Thanks for your continued viewership, and I hope you continue to enjoy these playthroughs. But that's gonna do it for me, guys. I don't really have anything else to say about this game. It's Western developed, Sega, platforming. There was a lot of this on the Genesis back in the day, and Mega Drive. Yeah, kind of cool to show it off again. But yeah, you guys have yourselves a great day or night wherever you are out there in the world, and until the next one, take it easy.